kids see each other, 10 miles away. Sometimes they socialize and see each other. But the biggest thing to me is the history of the two programs are so strong. I say it, people think I'm being corny, but I do feel very flattered to be part of it.
I don't think there is a better rivalry in sport than Duke-UNC in basketball. It's got a good rivalry in other sports, but in basketball, because of what both programs have accomplished and the proximity, like you have, really, if you just combine all the players over all the years, just think of how many national players.
All right, folks. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our show here this evening. It's a Sports Talk with Chris Heidel. I'm Chris Heidel with George Bashira and Adam Mines, and Steve is here. He's going to be helping us out with the phone calls. So how's everybody doing this evening?
Doing pretty good. I'm pulling for the Tar Heels on Saturday. I got the Tar Heel blue on, to show my support.
Yeah. So, George, we're part of the ACC is going to be really representative on Saturday night between Duke and North Carolina, so that's good for the league.
It's money. Money.
It is money. It's money is money. Coming up at 7:35, Jeff Dooley, the voice of the Harford Yard Goats, and George and I were working on the how they became the Yard Goats from being the Rock Cats. We'll talk to Jeff about that. They're the AA affiliate of the Colorado Rockies. That's strange. The Rockies on the East Coast. Normally it would be like somebody like Yankees, Red Sox, somebody taking it over, but I guess Colorado is looking for something to do. And then at 7:45, we have a gentleman who basically is retiring from the professional bowler tour. He's done his regional. He's a regional manager in the Southwest region, and he's also a PBA legend because he bowled the fourth perfect game on ABC television back in 1987. Pete McCormick will be joining us at 7:47. So it's going to be fun. So we're going to have a great show here this evening. We got Joe Oliver joining us at 8:05, and we have Jedd Gyorko, who used to play for the Milwaukee Brewers and Padres and all that stuff. He'll be joining us around the 8:40 mark by telephone because he basically is he's traveling. So let's bring in Jeff here. Jeff, who is the let's bring in Jeff. Good evening, Jeff. How you doing?
I'm doing well, Chris. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Oh, no problem. Thanks for coming on. We're George and I were working on what is a yard goat?
That's a good question. By the definition, a yard goat actually is something real. It's actually a train that connects trains. So it's actually a working train in a rail yard. We use the term, though, the yard goat, meaning just a fun time for the kids to go out. So we've got a couple of mascots, and it's minor league baseball, so we like to have fun with it. But for the folks that like to get serious, there was a true definition. A yard goat is actually a thing, guys.
Oh, okay. That's cool. So this team used to be affiliated with the Boston Red Sox because I know George used to go to some of these games when he was living in Connecticut, and he got a foul ball, and his daughter decided to throw it back into the stands, right, George?
It was late in the game, waiting for the foul ball to come, and she got very close to throwing it back on the field. And I caught her arm on the release.
Got that ball, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're actually the longest continuous sports franchise, professional sports franchise in the state of Connecticut. So our franchise actually dates back all the way through 1973 with the Bristol Red Sox, and they played in Bristol until 1982, and then in 83 moved to Beehive Field in New Britain, and that was the New Britain Red Sox that had Roger Clemens pitch them to an Eastern League championship that first year in 83, and just about a decade later, a young third baseman, Jeff Bagwell, came through and then became actually traded out of New Britain. Obviously, it was one of the worst trades in baseball history, certainly for the Red Sox. And then we became an affiliate with the Minnesota Twins in 1995. And the affiliation with the Red Sox ended. Then Minnesota came to town. And between 95 and 2013, we were with the Twins. And then in 2014 was the last with the Twins. And then in 2015, we signed a player development deal with the Colorado Rockies. And Colorado was really excited because we had the opportunity to move into a beautiful ballpark downtown. Those that don't know the area, between Hartford and New Britain it's about 8 or 9 miles, and the city built us a palace, basically a $75 million stadium for our fans, a 360 ballpark. For your listeners that haven't been here, that have a chance to come through New England, it is one of the best minor league ballparks that you can visit, with a 360 concourse. So you can walk around, you can bring the daughter, and you can catch a home run because there are seats in the outfield. So we're just thrilled. The fan support has been awesome, and we're excited to go a week from Friday night.
Yeah, you guys are in the Eastern League with Bowie and Somerset's now the Yankees AA affiliate. It's kind of really weird because Trenton used to be the AA affiliate for the Yankees, but now they're going to be an independent with that draft league, with the Fredrick Keys and the Black Bears and all that stuff. So it's pretty. How was it last year with Somerset in the league? Yeah, some brand new team.
Yeah, it was great. I'd heard great things about Somerset. As you mentioned, a long time they were the partners in the independent leagues, and they obviously had the opportunity to get an affiliated baseball. I think it's something that they recognize could certainly up their franchise worth. And, having the affiliation with the Yankees, certainly in New Jersey, is a no-brainer. So they were just thrilled that the Yankees made the transition last year to go to Somerset, and getting to know their front office folks for the first time. They were really great and gracious. We actually were there just after that hurricane hit in September. The ballpark was underwater, so we hosted 2 or 3 of their games that we actually played at Dunkin' Donuts Park in Hartford. And then there was a huge ceremony when it was really emotional when they opened up there for the first time in about 2 weeks. Because of the elements that the hurricane that came through. So, but yeah, we're thrilled to have them in the league. They're good partners. And I know the Yankees, they're not afraid to send rehabs down in the minor league. So it's great for Somerset and the Patriot fans to get a chance to see some of those Yankee prospects and Yankees that maybe are with them with a major league rehab assignment.
George, go ahead.
So, Jeff, I live so close to that stadium that you guys decided to build it just after I left Connecticut, by the way. And I lived over in Wethersfield. I was a stone's throw away from the stadium, and was nothing better than having the Harford Civic Center, and then I guess now having the Dunkin' Donuts Stadium over there in Hartford. What I got to ask, because I moved out here, and I remember there was controversy when the stadium opened. It took forever and a day with some developers and stuff like that to open the stadium. It was all around. It was just craziness.
Yeah, it was definitely a project. The transition was not easy. There was a lot of hurt feelings. I know the folks in New Britain, and listen, I worked 18 years in New Britain for the Rockcats. We lived in New Britain for a while. I consider myself a New Britain citizen, and I loved my time with the Rockcats in New Britain, but this is basically the major leagues in Connecticut. And I mean, a lot of people have said to me, Jeff, this ballpark is more of a tiny, tiny major league park than it is a big, big minor league park. And I really believe that's a good description with the technology and the way you can go to 5 different games and have 5 completely different experiences at a Yard Goats game. But obviously, there were some people that were upset when the team was moving for New Britain. And we try to explain to fans, this is going to be great for you. I love New Britain Stadium, but I also have the opportunity to travel around and see some of the other ballparks. And I want our fans to experience the best ballpark. So I said, just trust me on this one. This is going to be great. And the ones that, and now it's 99% of the folks have come, and if they're not season tickets with us now, they've gotten ticket packages or they go to games, and it is a great experience, and it's everything that we had hoped it would be. It was a long time coming. You mentioned that the ballpark wasn't ready. We initially thought we'd be ready to go for the 2016 season when we unveiled our name and basically the brand was born, but the ballpark wasn't ready. There were some issues, getting that into place for April, and then it was May, and then it was June, and we actually played all 162 games on the road that year. So it was crazy as the team's broadcaster to go to New Hampshire to play a series against the Yard Goats and Harrisburg Senators up in New Hampshire. I mean, two teams that, are in the same league, but not in that venue. So it was strange. It was very unique, but it was something for the folks that got a chance to experience that. And many of that 2016 class is now in the major leagues. For certainly those players and coaches, it's something they'll never forget.
And Jeff, and just a quick follow-up, the flip side is they really wedged that stadium in the infrastructure that surrounds it. I mean, let's be honest, there was not a lot of room to put a stadium. They had to be really creative.
Yeah, it's a small parcel. You're absolutely right. It's a small piece. It's on the corner of Main and Trumbull and kind of wedged between the school and Pleasant. And I say that, I mean, it's a beautiful ballpark. And, there's more than 6,500 seats in there. We can get about 6,800 fans. There's a couple of different levels of seating in the luxury suites and the dugout suites. But in terms of, the small area that they had to somehow wedge that in, you're right. It took some really good, obviously architecture and design work to make this happen. One of the streets is actually on a hill. I don't know how they made it work, but they did.
Yep.
And it's awesome. And the players love it because you have the skyline of the city. So you go up there and you go to get a fly ball and you look and you might be looking at the upper deck and seeing fans above you. Then you see some of the dugout suites right there in the background. And then you've got the skyline of the city as well that you can see from the lower seats, as well as the second deck where you're up in the luxury suites or the skyboxes. So there's just so many different places to see. They've actually continued to develop. So we were just part of basically a $500 million renovation project for the entire city, redevelopment project. And they've done actually the work now on Trumbull Street. There's some condominiums going in there. They'll be up, I think, within the next couple of months, and then they're going to develop on Main Street as well. So with some retail and I think maybe a sports bar or something, restaurant on the bottom level. So, the goal is to make it a kind of a miniature Yawkey Way field before a Red Sox game. Maybe before the gates open on a Saturday, you go and maybe have a beverage at the place across the street. So that, at a much smaller scale, of course, but that is the goal. And I think we're definitely something that's going to get people downtown in the summertime. In the wintertime, you've got UConn hockey, you've got UConn basketball, obviously the men and women's. You've got professional hockey with the Wolfpack. But for years, not a lot of people would come downtown, especially on the weekends in the summertime. And we've seen that change since we moved into the ballpark in 2017.
That's cool. Adam, you got a question first?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I lived in New Hampshire for 13 years before moving down to North Carolina in 1997. I remember the old Hartford Whalers at the Hartford Civic Center before they became the Carolina Hurricanes. So I remember, and I have relatives that live in Connecticut, so it's called, and I can say Dunkin' Donuts Park is one of them. I haven't gotten there yet, but hopefully I'll get there one day. And talk to us about some of the upcoming prospects that fans should be looking out for the upcoming season in the Eastern League.
Yeah, there's so many. And, for our fans, obviously, some people kind of scratch their heads. They'll say a Rockies affiliate, but the Rockies and the Yard Goats have a really good relationship. Their ownership group comes in basically once a year, to make sure things are what we want and what they want when they visit Hartford. They really love the affiliation here. And they've sent us great prospects. Ryan McMahon, who just signed a $70 million contract to the Rockies, were able to lock him in just last week, actually. He was the first ever Yard Goat to hit a home run at Dunkin' Donuts Park. So Herman Marquez was the league pitcher of the year in 2016. He was a National League All-Star last year. David Dahl was an All-Star. He was a Yard Goat. So we're getting not only guys that are in the major leagues now, but we're getting guys that are kind of hit the All-Star, rock star status, which is great for Yard Goat fans because they got a chance to maybe know them or got a ball from them or an autograph or a photo. And now they're seeing them do it at the major league level, which is great. But going back to your question from last year, we had two pitchers, Fernandez and Feltner, both go to the big leagues. And out of Double-A, that's pretty cool. Most of the guys go from Double-A to Triple-A, and then from Triple-A to the major leagues. We basically had two guys. One, Feltner, skipped right over Triple-A, and Fernandez just had a brief stint at Triple-A Albuquerque. And I think both have probably moved on from the Double-A ranks. But we should have, some prospects. We always do. Michael Tolley is a kid that was a #1 pick out of UCLA. That'll probably be our first baseman this year. Jamison Hanna battled injuries all last year, really athletic and has a good bat. He's an outfielder. I think he'll be with us. Casey Golden is another kid that battled injuries last year, but I think he is healthy. I would guess he would start the season with us. We're still a little bit premature in terms of a roster. We'll know that in about a week or so. And then Carl Kaufman, a pitcher that was a big pick out of the University of Michigan, basically skipped A-ball and was with us all of last year. Took some lumps, but we're hoping that he rebounds and could be one of our better pitchers for 2022. So I think we'll have some prospects. We always do, and we'll certainly see some prospects when we play the Mets and the Yankees and the Red Sox for the local fans that want to come out to see the prospects for their organizations as well.
That's true. Well, Jeff, thanks for coming on tonight. Enjoy the rest of your March. I know baseball's going to start in a week or so, and thank God for spring.
Yeah, thank God. Spring is coming, I promise you.
Yeehaw!
That's right.
Jeff,
Thank you, guys.
Jeff, I'll look you up when I get out to Connecticut.
Yeah, absolutely. Come say hi for sure. Let me know when you're in town.
Will do.
Okay.
All right, Jeff. Thanks, man.
Thank you, guys.
That's it.
Yes, sir.
All right, that's Jeff Dooley, the voice of the Harford Yard Goats, the Double-A affiliate of the Colorado Rockies. So, folks, before we bring this next guy in, we got to do a flashback. Yeah, I decided today we'd do a little flashback to January 31st, 1987.
One more, and that couple, the McCordics of Houston, Texas, will be $100,000 richer.
Well, we gave away $100,000 in the U.S. Open just 4 weeks ago to another Texan, Del Ballard Jr., Pete McCordic, bowling immortality.
Is that a sight, Bo?
Within his grasp, one more strike. 1974, Jim Stepnich was the last time.
All right, here it is. Right lane. We have it!
All right, let's bring in Pete McCormick. Pete, thanks for joining us this evening, and that must have been so fun to watch that again. You probably enjoy that all the time, right?
You know, I have seen it quite often, but probably not as often as you might think. I was there. I don't have to watch it to remember that feeling.
I got it right here.
Yep.
You know, I do. I have seen it quite often, mainly in situations like this, or when family or friends are over, or they point it out to me. But unforgettable day, that's for sure.
Yeah. I remember I was a kid watching. I was living in New York on Long Island, and my dad and I were watching, and I just remember it today, sitting there just watching it with him. And my dad goes, "This guy's getting a little bowl perfect game on TV." I was like, "Yeah, Dad." And he goes, "That's pretty cool." And so I just remember sitting there watching them with my dad, and I was like, "Wow." You know, I don't think my dad remembers that, but I just remember being a kid just sitting there watching it with him.
You know, it was back in the day. It hadn't been done, like he just said, in 13 years, from 74 to 87, and it was a lot of extra pressure. Probably, I like to say that since I've done it, I think they're up to 40 televised 300 games now. So everyone has just kind of said, if McCordic can do it, it can't be that hard. So it's kind of opened the doors for everyone else to do it too.
Yeah. Well, the reason we got you on because I saw last week you're retiring as a Southwest Regional Manager for the PBA, and Chris Barnes did a nice little gift to you after the last, I guess you guys had last qualifying. So what is Pete doing after being resigning as a Southwest Regional Manager? Are you just going to relax or going golfing, or are you going back on tour? What's the deal?
When people have asked me that, I just kind of laugh about it and say whatever I want, is what I'm going to do. But more generally, I don't know. I'd like to bowl some. I have no desire to go bowl every PBA 50 event or anything like that. But before I get too old and decrepit, I still feel like I can compete, especially against 60-year-olds. But the PBA, I've been an employee with them for over 25 years, and they had the rule employees can't bowl PBA tournaments of any kind. So I have not been allowed to bowl any PBA events. I still try to bowl the USBC Senior Championship and the Senior Masters and things like that. But if I can get sharp, I may show up on some of the PBA 50 Tour events, and I'll definitely bowl the Senior Masters and the Super Senior. And I feel like I can get sharp enough to compete. So we'll have to just wait and see. Spending more time with family while I can. I have 2 beautiful young granddaughters. I'd like to spend more time with too. My wife and I, we plan on traveling a little bit. So, like I said, it's just whatever we want to do is what we're going to be able to do.
Yeah. Go ahead, George.
So, Pete, I got to say, when you did that, I was 16 years old. I think I was just getting into teaching bowling. I was a certified coach. And when I had gotten a little bit older, I think I never shot 300, but the best I did was 279. But it was still a thrill shooting a 279. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Yeah, you had 11 strikes probably. So that's a lot of strikes. You were 1 shot away from having that perfect game. So
it was a crazy day.
Yeah.
Let's talk about technology, because everyone says bowling back in the day, I mean, there was not the technology of balls and, stuff like that they have today. What's the biggest influence, would you say, based upon technology that has affected the game of bowling?
Well, obviously the technology has made the bowling equipment, the bowling balls especially, more dynamic. The cores are better. The shells of the bowling balls are better. There's a wide variety of things. But I think it goes a little bit farther than that even. Just the amount of knowledge in bowling is so much more now than it was back in the day. I mean, we knew the basics and everything like that, but just the amount of knowledge that people have now. And it's expanded because now you have the 2-handed bowling, and you have people that get the 500 rev rates on the bowling balls. So the knowledge is greater. The equipment is better. So it's almost a different game than it was then. That's why, I don't think I would have a chance to compete against the kids as us older folks say against the young guys, except maybe on a few conditions. But just the knowledge is so vast now. I almost feel unworthy of giving lessons now just because I'm a fundamental type teacher, and the game has really progressed past that. So that would be the biggest thing, the change in the bowling balls and just the amount of knowledge. I mean, there's so much that you can get just by going on YouTube and finding the knowledge. And I think it's really helped. The women bowling in college, the college club sports for the guys, just there's so many young, talented players coming up, and I'm sure they'll be a force to be reckoned with in the coming years.
Yeah, I remember when you shot that 300, and if you want to do some traveling, it's called, you and your wife can always come up to Portland, Maine for the PBA League in July and go see, people like Walter Ray Williams Jr., someone very well, competing against, you competed against him back in the day.
Sure. And Walter Ray still competes. He had some injuries toward the end of last year, and he's slowed him down a little bit, but he's still very competitive on the PBA 50 tour. But the PBA League in Maine, what a riot that place is. The crowd.
I know. I'm going in July.
There.
14 weeks from today, I'll be at Bayside Bowl in Portland, Maine for the PBA League. So it's like, so tell us about how bowling has evolved, from when you started until now. I know you talked about some of it.
Yeah,
What do you think has changed the most?
Again, the knowledge is just so much more vast now, and with the knowledge comes the use of the equipment. It's almost like you need a golf bag with 14 different clubs in your arsenal, and basically that's what it is. You have different equipment. I mean, when I first went on tour, I went out on tour when I was 19 in '73, and I wasn't ready yet. But basically, we had two bowling balls. We took them everywhere. And then it kind of grew from there where we drilled one or two. Then you had a couple of plastic balls. Then once urethane came out, that kind of evolved, and we learned more what you could do with that. Then the reactives came out 10 years after the urethane, and that created just a whole explosion of things that you had to know. So the bowling equipment is gone a lot more, and you have to be more wary. Back when I was on tour, we did a lot of things with hand positions and hand releases, and maybe throw the ball a little harder or throw a little softer. We adjusted to the lanes, but there wasn't a great change in the lanes even all day. They would hook more, but it wasn't a drastic thing. With the modern day bowling balls and surfaces like that, it's nothing to have 4 or 5 strikes in a row, and then you have to move. You have to know to move all of a sudden without going high or anything like that. It's just the equipment soaks up the oil so much different now than it did back in the day. And it's just evolved a lot in that. These guys are really good, and you just don't realize how good they are until you get out there and compete against them.
Yeah. Well, Pete, I have a question about this bowling ball controversy that Sean Rash was talking about earlier in the year, got fined and suspended, and now the UBC, the American United States Bowling Congress, is actually cracking down on these bowling balls. So can you explain the not the average bowler, but myself, what are they doing to stop these people getting these bowling balls?
From what I understand, and this is it created a problem. There was one brand type of ball that was being dominant on the tour, and to make a long story short, this ball, when it was approved by USBC, it was completely legal. But what we have found out is that over time, this bowling ball got a lot softer through use and age, and it became so soft that it was softer than the USBC regulation. But since it had been okayed by the USBC at one time, they couldn't do anything about it. Since then, they've reevaluated this and made a couple of rule changes on that. But basically, the ball just got so soft; it was so much better than anything else that people could use. So, but when they were using it, even though it was legal by definition, it was softer than what the regulations say. But there's nothing you can do about it once it's in use like that. Once it's been approved, so. USB, I believe that's what Sean Rash was talking about. And it's hopefully USBC and PBA will get together and find a worthwhile solution to the problem.
And you mean soft? Does the ball become soft in the middle, or what do you mean soft?
Soft, the shell, the outer shell, the bowling
ball
got softer. And when a bowling ball gets softer, it will grab the lane a little bit more, create more back end, more hook on the back end, which increases your pin carry. So, these were actually urethane balls as opposed to the more modern reactive balls. And when you see a urethane ball just out hook the reactive balls noticeably, then it kind of opened some eyes, and people were wondering, and come to find out, to my understanding, that's what happened is this ball just gets so much softer that they had to do something about it because it was creating an unfair situation.
So, Pete, you can actually age a ball and not even no one would even realize it.
Yes. Wow. It wasn't just this ball. The other manufacturers also might have had a ball or two that over time will get softer and all that. And that was part of the problem is once it was approved, USBC didn't know what to do after it was approved. And then it became illegal because even after you would use it and it gets softer, if you waited an hour, put it in a 72-degree room, it would harden back up. So, and then once you start using it again, it would get softer. It would grade it, and once it gets softer, it grabs the lane more, which creates hook. And once it creating hook at the right time in the right place increases pin carry. And they were creating an issue.
Look at the funk.
Wow.
Hey, bring back the plastic ball, Pete. I have a plastic ball and a rubber ball. Let's just use that stuff all over again. You know,
you're talking my wheelhouse there now.
I'll bring out my nitro.
Yeah, that's good. Ebonite nitro. I remember.
Well,
in fact, I was on Ebonite's staff when that ball was out. So
Awesome.
That's right. That's
Oh,
right.
really?
That's right. Yeah, that's right, Pete.
Nice. Well, Pete, thanks so much for coming on. I know you're enjoy retirement, whatever you're doing, and you were a ambassador to the game, and it's pretty funny when every time they talk about perfect games, you're always brought up, in conversation. So it's pretty funny. You're the fourth one to bowl a perfect game, and then now it's like 35, 36 of them.
That's what I said.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Once McCordic did it, can't be that hard, and it's created. Before leaving, I just want to say,
Right.
I bowled 18 years on the PBA tour. I've worked with the PBA for 25 years. I'm very blessed to have a dream job with the PBA, blessed to have a career that as successful, not super successful, but good enough when I was bowling. PBA and bowling have been great to me. I'm very blessed to have had all of it. I wish the PBA and bowling, the future of bowling, hopefully it's going back up in the right direction. I wish everybody the best. Thanks to everybody for all the kind words that they said about my retirement. I really and truly appreciate it, and just am very thankful. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
You're welcome.
Yes, sir.
Well,
Enjoy
we'll keep
your
in
time,
touch,
Pete.
okay? Good.
Thanks, guys.
Yes, sir.
I'd say it. All right, that's Pete McCormick, who used to be the Southwest Regional Manager, but if you were you, me, George, and Adam, we saw him over, bowling on the national tour.
ABC Saturday afternoons.
Schenkel and
That's
Nelson
why I had to
Martin
play.
Jr. And then ABC's Wild
That's why I
World
had to
Sports
play.
at 4:30.
Hey, that's why I had to play the clip of him getting the perfect game. You got to hear Chris Schenkel.
Oh, you got to
That's
hear
right.
Frankel's voice.
He still missed. He still missed.
Yeah, I loved Chris Schenkel when I was a kid growing up. It was him and Nelson Burton Jr. It was funny. A couple of weeks ago, I called Nelson Burton Jr. I had his phone number, and I called him, and he bowls in a league on Tuesday nights.
Oh gosh, damn.
So so I was like, I can't wait. Yeah, we'll figure out something down the road for him.
Yeah, I mean, maybe one day you and I, Chris, could do like a pre-taped interview like we did with Keven Williams. That's going to play later on in the show.
Yeah, we're gonna. Yeah, exactly. So, coming up at 8:05 in 2 minutes, we'll have Joe Oliver joining us, the former Cincinnati Reds catcher who was part of the Reds back in 1990 when they swept the Mark McGuire and Jose Canseco Oakland Athletics out of the World Series. Remember that, George?
Oh, yes.
I remember.
And I was looking at the roster. They had Chris Sabo.
Yeah.
They had Billy. They had Billy Hatcher, who was basically I don't like him because he's a nemesis to the Mets in '86 in the NLCS.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
I have choice words.
Yeah.
I have choice words for that one. George, you know about growing up in New York, Long Island, New York, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And, like there's people that you just don't like, and Billy Hatcher is that guy that every time I see him hitting one down the line for a home run against Orozco in Game 6 of the NLCS, I want to throw my computer or my phone at the TV. But I know it's been, I know it's 30 years ago, but I still want to see it. So we're gonna wait for Joe Oliver to join us, and so
Chris, he was a great interview.
Great to have
Our last two guys were great interviews. One, you brought me home by talking about the yard goats. And then you brought me back to my childhood, I was 16 years old when he threw that 300 game, by the way. And, it's great because that's how you want to remember life. You want to remember life in your teenage years.
Yeah, of course.
And I love that.
Yeah, it's like even.
Yeah, I just loved it when I was a kid. Yeah, I used to sit home Saturday afternoons this time of year, waiting for the professional bowler store to join on ABC. And, Friday nights, I did my chores around the house, made sure I was all ready to go youth bowling in the morning.
Yep.
And then I just was ready, and then this guy tried to whoop my ass.
He's going to give you the Will Smith. Be careful.
Yeah. You might give me the Will Smith. Look out. So anyway, but but it's like it was so great Saturday afternoons in the wintertime. It was like bowling at 3:30, and then 4:30 was Wide with the Sports with Jim McKay.
Frank Gifford in the deck. Frank Gifford in studio.
Yeah. Hey, did you know, George, Jim McKay was from Baltimore?
I did not know Jim McKay was from Baltimore.
Yeah, he's from Baltimore.
Actually, I'll tell you guys this.
Jim McKay.
If you know horse racing, there's a track called Laurel Park, and I think they have a horse race named after Jim McKay, that they run every year in honor of late broadcaster. So it's either Laurel Park or Pimlico, one of the two.
See, all you gotta do is mention his name, and I can hear agony of defeat and
thrill of victory,
and agony of defeat. With the person falling off the lift.
Yeah, spanning the globe to bring you a variety of sports. Thrill of victory and the agony of defeat.
Yeah. So we're waiting for Joe Oliver to join us. Hopefully he'll be joining us shortly by video. He's actually going to be the manager of the Fredrick Keys this year in the draft league. Yeah. So just like we had Homer Bush on last week, and we had Dave Trimley on last week as well. So these gentlemen are going to be helping these young kids getting ready to be drafted in the major leagues. It's a draft league, so it gives them an opportunity to play some competitive baseball after college baseball is over to get themselves ready for the draft.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah. So if we're still waiting for him, let's get me to. I found some stuff today. Did you know, George? Where were you on this date in 1999?
I was a senior in 1999 or 89.
Yeah, 1999.
UConn. Ray Allen.
Yes.
Ray Allen.
That was the year 99 was the year the men and the UConn men and women won the national championship.
That is correct. Correct.
My wife's cousin, Marcy Zell, was the walk-on for the UConn Huskies.
Whoa.
Wow, that's cool. Nice.
Yep.
Man.
Yep.
Nice. Yeah. So they beat Duke on that night, and I think I got some video here.
I still have the national championship T-shirt, by the way.
Yes.
George. In a plastic bag. In a plastic bag.
Yeah. Let's see here. I think I had it here. Hold on. Let's see. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, there's the.
And that was
the
a
Duke
great
and,
team.
UConn game.
It was a great team. I think Ray Allen was on that team.
Philip Alamine.
Yep. Yep.
Look at Jim Calhoun. He's getting
Jim Cal.
Yeah, bombarded and look.
That was just crazy. Yeah. That was just crazy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, if you think UConn basketball, you think of Jim Calhoun. Yeah, you think of him. You don't think of anybody else. Yeah.
I know. I have. Yeah. If you're talking men's basketball, yes, you think Jim Calhoun, but you think UConn basketball overall, I gotta go Dale.
Easily.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
having that personal connection to the team, and having been in the room with Coach, he's a lot different off the court than he's on the court, of course.
Yeah. Well, I was listening to him on this video chat this past weekend, and he was just having a nice, quiet conversation with reporters. Yeah, telling what's going on. And I was like, wow, I know this is the guy who's one of the legends of women's basketball, but get some coffee, dude. Yeah.
He's getting on there with age, man. He's not a coach of the back in the day.
No.
Right.
He turned that program around in a heartbeat. Both guys did. Jim Calhoun set the standard for UConn men's basketball. And they've never been the same since without him.
Thank you, George.
Well,
I'll agree with that.
Well, they did win a national championship. UConn did when with what's his name, and then he got fired.
But you don't think of that. You go back, the first person you're thinking about was that great season, those great seasons, and then beating that Duke team, which they had no. I mean, they were just as they obviously were better than Duke that year.
Right.
Of course.
Yeah. So we're still waiting for. Let me see if he emailed me here. Let me see if I bring up an email because that's 8:11 here on the program.
I could give you some filler material.
Let's see here. Beckers. Okay. Well, that's not it. Okay, so Pete gave me his phone number. Nope, I don't see anything from Joe Oliver. I guess he forgot. I texted him this morning and emailed him. So
hey,
so I guess we'll get busy.
We can iterate here.
Yeah, we're having a good time talking about other stuff, And,
of course.
Here's another one.
Yeah, I mean, this weekend. I mean, think about it, you two. This weekend you have 4 blue bloods of college basketball playing for a national championship, and I think I read only 0.1% of all the brackets that were played picked North Carolina, Duke, Villanova, and Kansas. I mean, you think about all the upsets, we saw, especially with what St. Peter's did, but when they went up against the Tar Heels, they didn't have a shot. I mean, you got to give St. Peter's a lot of credit. They beat Kentucky, they beat Purdue, and they were 1 win away from the advancement to the Final Four. I mean,
yeah.
Here's as coach. Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah. Well, here's the cool thing about North Carolina. I was looking at North Carolina Duke stats. We're going to have Keven Connelly coming on shortly around 8:30 or so, 8:35. North Carolina leads the series 142-115. And look at this stuff. The largest points that Carolina scored against Duke was 1921.
So there's a little thing that I just was reflecting on, Chris, going into that game. Didn't North Carolina beat Duke on Coach K's last regular season game
at Cameron Indoor Stadium? Yes.
So now
they sure did.
It becomes like a Patriots Giants thing, or any other team that beat someone in the regular season. Can you beat them when it really counts? Okay.
Sure.
You can put aside what happened at Cameron Indoor Arena for a moment. Duke wins that game against them this weekend. You put that loss behind you because you won when you needed to.
Right.
Yeah.
Here's some stuff I was doing some research. They said that North Carolina and Duke never played each other in a postseason game. That's a false. Because they did play each other in 1971 in the NIT tournament.
That's the
like,
NIT.
What's wrong with the NITs?
I don't count the NIT. I would not count the NIT.
I don't count it.
You don't want to count the NIT. You're just going to throw them out. Sorry, NIT.
It's the second fiddle. It's those 64 teams that didn't make the net. That didn't make the field of 64.
68.
I know.
68.
Well, back then, I guess those two. Back in '71, I guess Duke and North Carolina wasn't that great of a team like we see all the time now. I guess
Hey, someone's got to start someplace.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, Coach K was about to get fired after his first season at Duke because he wasn't doing real well. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, some guy named Jay Billis came along, and used to live in this area, and saved them pretty much.
Dang.
Jay Billis is the biggest homer in the world.
Oh my God, he's a tall dude. Don't get me wrong, he's tall, but he just talks too much.
If there was ever a homer that was out there, it's Jay Billis.
yeah, but he's a nice guy. Don't get me wrong. I talked to him.
Don't get me wrong, but
yeah.
He doesn't want to think anything but that.
That's right. That's true.
That team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Chris, really quick.
Yeah.
The discussion over the weekend coming out of South Bend. The University of Notre Dame is a fencing school.
Okay.
They've won 12 national championships. They are the winningest sport on the University of Notre Dame campus.
Wow.
Whoa. I didn't know that.
Jeez, that's pretty cool.
So,
and that's more than the football program.
That is one more than the football program. Hence the reason my article this past week. Fencing
I think it's time
is a very interesting
throw
sport.
The football program away.
I learned so much about fencing in 5 hours. It was crazy.
Oh boy.
But think about that.
Yeah.
Fencing at the University of Notre Dame, and they promptly came out with a thing on Twitter. Notre Dame is a fencing school.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. But like I said, you get rid of the football program. You don't need the football program. See ya. Go, get out of here.
Yeah.
No, they can't do that. Here's the funny thing. I don't understand Notre Dame. Okay, you're a school. Okay, you have Al Golden as your defensive coordinator, who basically stunk the ship down in South Florida. Literally got himself ran out of South Florida, and now he's with you guys. And I'm like, why are you with Notre Dame? Stay at the NFL. You got it made in the NFL, dude.
It's all about opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And has he talked to? Has anybody brought up what happened in Miami?
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't either. I work
don't
with
care.
someone who's
I
a
think I would
Hurricanes
like to
fan.
find that
So.
out.
You know what? It's the past. You move
Hey.
on. You've obviously done great things. You've done great things in the NFL. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's the thing. If Miami plays Notre Dame sometime this year or next year, and he's still there, it's going to be brought up no matter what.
Will.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. They're going to bring it up, and they're going to ask him, questions about it, because, he basically had a chance to stay as a coach, and he told the athletic director, no, I'm not firing one of my coaches. And he goes, and the Blake, who was the James Blake, who was the AD who got fired this year, told him, all right, you're out of here. It's like, really? And then you pick up Mark Rick, who basically has Parkinson's. I feel really sorry for him.
Yep.
Yeah, he's a good coach. He did a good job with Georgia, and he actually did okay with Miami if he had the players and the people listening to him.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, so this weekend you got, besides Duke and North Carolina, that's the late game on TV. And if you're TBS, George, you're making a lot of money this weekend.
Oh, cha-ching.
Cash is
You're
king.
gonna be
Cash is king.
You're gonna be buying the Atlanta Braves back.
Yep.
Because that's where the Final Four is, and the championship game's on TBS. And I'm looking at the schedule, going, you just had you just picked a golden opportunity to make some buku cash. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
God bless you. Yeah. Turn to sports.
The kids at Duke, once they made it past the Sweet 16, now they're playing with house money.
Yeah.
It's like anything, Chris. You give someone something to play for, and you're going to achieve the goal. Now that they've gotten past the largest part of the competition and the field's this small, there's so much momentum on their side that I didn't think it was going to happen, Chris. I did not pick Duke to be this far into the tournament. Okay, just because of this is because of whatever. But now that they've made it to the Final Four, they're going to win it all.
Oh, really, George?
We're going to move heaven
What color?
and earth.
Hey, George, what color am I wearing? You know what I'm going for.
That's your UNC. That's your UNC blue.
Hey, it's called.
Hey, that's why they play the games. Yeah.
Well, that's
right.
what they say about the Peacock, right? Someone said after the Peacock got beat did they deserve to be there? Yes. They
Yeah,
deserve
they did.
to be there.
What did they
Because
have
that's
to
why they play the games.
All right.
They just
Hey,
don't
if you're
hand
saying
these
Pete
trophies
now,
out. You got to earn it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey, if you're saying Pete now, you made a lot of money during this tournament, and basically going to help you build a better arena than
And you
that
lost your
little,
head coach, though. And they lost their head coach.
Oh, he went to. Did he go to Seton Hall?
He did.
And the Seton Hall coach went to Maryland, and now St. Peter's is looking for a coach too. It's like it's just one big circle. Yeah.
He showed him the feathers.
Yeah. Hey, the guy used to be a player at Seton Hall, so I guess Seton Hall's thinking, hey, you can take us to the Final Four next year. Sure. Okay.
Well, that's all about personalities, right? It's about being able to coach all 10 different personalities and not making it a me sport, but a team sport. And that's the challenge with any coach on a basketball team. Is getting all the pieces to work together versus playing for your school as what's his face said from the Team USA. You're not playing for the name on your back, you're playing for your country. You're not playing for the name on your back, you're playing for your school. And if more universities were able to do that, these kids would be a lot better.
Thank you. I'll agree with that, George. Completely agree.
Well, speaking of the NCAA tournament, I talked to one of the Kansas players because in that first game, you got Villanova and Kansas. And I feel like that's going to be a good game as well because Villanova's defense it's actually, you're not watching the 85 Bears, locking things down but they've been keeping people under 50 points a game in the tournament. And to me, that's really good for four games against awesome competition. And then here's the funny thing. I talked to Bill Self last weekend on Zoom. I thought Bill Self got fired because he's been so quiet. You don't hear anything from Bill Self. It's like you hear a couple years ago they had that fight between Baylor and Kansas that was an embarrassment, but you don't really hear anything about Bill Self, and it's just quiet.
For sure.
So I talked to Mitch Lightfoot this afternoon on Zoom. He's the Kansas forward. He's a super senior. I guess these new words of you've been there for 6 years or you've been there too long. Yeah. And they call them super seniors because of the COVID. So I had a chance to talk to him on Zoom this morning about Villanova's defense.
Yeah, like you said, they're a great defensive team. They're very sound. They're not going to beat themselves when it comes to defense. I think it all starts with Gillespie. He's such a great defensive mind. He knows where to be and when to be there. He knows how to get his teammates involved defensively. I think it's going to start with us being aggressive, paying attention to the scouting report, knowing what coach needs from us. If we can go out there and execute our game plan, I think we'll be okay. But they play so hard on defense that we have to make sure we really do lock in.
And that was Mitch Lightfoot from Kansas. We're still waiting for our good friend from the IronBirds to join us. I guess they had an event tonight, George, around 8:00, and he said he was going to log in around 8:15. So I guess it got a little over later than he thought. But I've been checking. Let me see if I can see if he sent me a text message here. Hold on. No, I don't see any text messages. So I guess he'll just log in when he can, and we'll just fill him in.
Yeah.
So Chris, where's your bracket, buddy? Where are you?
Yeah, let me bring it up. Yeah, let me bring it up here. Hold on a second. Please hold him.
Please hold.
Uh-oh.
I need elevator music. ESPN bracket. Okay. All right. Well, here's my bracket. I got 560 points. I'm ranked. I'm like not even. I don't think I get a. I don't think I get a medal for that.
What do you got going to the Final Four?
The final. Yeah, I don't get it. Let me see if I can pull it up here. I pull up my bracket. Channel, people's bracket, group. Oh, I know who I had in the Final Four. I picked. I thought it was going to be Providence because I thought they were going to be better than I thought they were. Against Kansas and Duke. And I have Duke winning because I think Duke was going to beat them by like 4.
Oh, that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we're tied. We're tied, Chris.
So how many points did you get at? Huh?
560.
560? What'd you get?
And Kansas.
It's a good pick, George.
No,
I gotta say,
I had Gonzaga winning it.
I did too.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately,
My only team left is Kansas because
That's
everybody
cool.
else bit the dust. And I thought that Duke was going to lose to Arkansas.
So did I.
Right.
That's why I said,
George.
that's why I said now they're playing with house money.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you have two teams live in a possible national. You got 2 teams live in a possible national champion, and only thing I got left is Kansas. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
Yeah, let me text the guy from the IronBirds. Maybe he forgot because he got busy with something. Let me see if he's rolling here. But let's see.
So, what's your favorite memory from when the Yard Girls were the New Britain Rockcats, George? I'm assuming, since you said you lived in Connecticut, do you have a favorite memory of, when the team was around?
So I would say when I was talking to Jeff, we had decided to go on a whim to a Rockcats game.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to get seats on the left-hand side of the field, on the left-hand side of the stadium.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted a chance for the foul ball, and it was a 6th inning. I was like, "Crap, it's getting late." The chances of getting a foul ball now are getting smaller.
Mm-hmm.
And the 7th or 8th inning, it was the 7th inning, and the guy behind me, the foul ball's coming. It's literally it's 2 rows behind us.
Wow.
It falls out of the guy's hands,
Mm-hmm.
and I snagged the ball. So I appreciated the guy saving my hands from having to try and catch the foul ball.
Mm-hmm.
But my daughter, handing it to my daughter, and she almost threw it back onto the field.
What?
Oh, no.
She was only 4 years old.
Ah.
So,
Gotcha.
So the intention of going to the game, getting a foul ball because I purposely put myself on that side of the stadium, and coming out with a ball was pretty darn amazing.
Cool.
Yeah. What else is going on? Oh, I saw this today. The Nationals, these MLB uniforms are coming out with like the citywide. They had the South Side.
Oh, I know where. Yeah, it's called
Hideous. Hideous. They're hideous.
So, yeah. Well, the Nationals are coming out with these
The
little
cherry
beauties. Let me show
blossoms.
you.
Oh, come on now. It's the thing in D.C., George.
It's
Jeez.
stupid.
Look
It's
at these
stupid.
Look at these little beauties.
Nice bloomers.
That looks kind of like.
Come on.
I saw this.
Looks like a women's league jersey.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I know DC is known for the cherry blossoms, but
But this is
that
all
is
part of a
not-
campaign, Chris. It's called the City Series,
That's right.
and 8 teams are going to have different jerseys based upon historic things in their city. And the
I'm
best
sorry,
you
the
can
Red
do
Sox
with
uniform?
Washington, the cherry blossoms, you have the Washington Monument, you got the White House, you got Jefferson Memorial, Arlington Cemetery. That's a winner, right?
Thank you.
Arlington Cemetery. Okay. What? Cherry blossoms? Come on!
Well, I want to see what the Mets are going to come out with once. You know, it's going to be hilarious. I don't know what they're going to call it, the King of Queens.
Why not?
That'll be great.
Why
That'll be
not?
great with
Subway. They'll put a Subway on there rather than putting the Statue
wait
of
a minute.
Liberty or
It's
something.
called, they could rename the New York Mets the New York Red Apples in honor of the Big Apple they used to have at Shea Stadium. You know, every time someone hit a home run, called the Big Apple would go up.
Right. Yeah, they still do that. They still have the Big Apple in center field.
Yeah.
And they have the old apple.
Why not?
George, the old apple is actually in the front of the city field. They put it as like a flower, part of the flower garden.
Yeah.
Chris, I pulled up the City Connect jerseys for the teams. The Dodgers is just the Dodgers uniform, but Dodgers blue. Okay.
Yeah.
The San Francisco Giants is cool. It's got the Golden Gate Bridge on the sleeves. That's cool.
Yeah.
I can buy that. The Diamondbacks, I don't get I don't get their jersey. That makes no sense. You should pull these up, Chris. The Cubs is cool. They got Wrigleyville on it, which I can get that. That's cool.
Of course. Yeah.
The White Sox is cool. They got the South Side. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Miami, I'm not sure what they're trying to do there. Miami's doesn't make. I mean, you could have put a dolphin on there. You could have done like a tropical. I mean, once again, tropical jersey. Boston, theirs is inspired by the Patriots Day.
That's correct.
So it's a yellow and blue jersey.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you know what? They don't even list. They don't even list the Washington. Oh, hold on. Next page. No, they don't even have. They don't even have the Washington Nationals jersey.
What?
That's weird.
Yeah.
Maybe they did a redo.
I guess it just came out today. Yeah.
What's that?
I think it came out today, and they haven't updated it on their website yet because I think the Nationals did one of those 4:00. Like, hey guys, you want to buy this online?
No.
Run to our gift shop right at the center field next to the beer stand and get our new jersey.
Like I said, I just don't get the Nationals. That to me, wah wah wah.
Thank you, George.
Thank you, George. I appreciate that one.
My color commentary. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we have some. We're just having a good time here, folks. Thanks for joining us here. We did have some couple guests that were supposed to be joining us, but we, I guess, with situations we can't control. We'll try to see if we can get them on another time down the road. You know, maybe things have come up and they forgot to let us know.
Hey, stuff happens, man.
So
that's right.
That's right. Hey, everything's weird these days. A lot of people, but it's okay. But we do have somebody who just logged in. We finally got a guest. Let's bring in Keven here, Connelly, who covers Duke. Hi, Keven.
Hey, what's going on, guys? How are you?
Hey, Keven.
Doing good. Doing good.
Thanks for coming on. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing great. Little busy these past couple weeks, but everything's great so far.
Yeah, it's great to see Duke and North Carolina in the Final Four. That's going to be if you're TBS, you're making a lot of money. That's all you're saying.
Well, I mean, look at even the 4 games. I mean, you have Duke, Carolina, Kansas, and Villanova. That's those executives aren't going to be crying about that one. I'll tell you that much.
Exactly. So you're part of the fan thing, not the SB Nation for Duke. I thought you were part of the SBA Nation. I'll fix that real quick here. But, that's my fault on that one. But just talk about what is it? This seems like Coach K's last ride. They're just trying to make Coach K could win it, and then maybe he might do a Tom Brady thing and come back 6 months later and go, I want to coach again.
I don't think so. But I mean, I feel like that storyline's been thrown around quite a bit. If they lose, I mean, is he really going to go out with a loss in his last home game to Carolina, and then is Carolina really going to send him home for good? That's one that, I mean, I'll probably have something out either later tonight or tomorrow on this. But like, I think this is the most important game in the history of Duke basketball. I really do. I don't think.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think the only maybe other comparable game is the 91 Final Four against UNLV. But like looking back on it in the moment, was that game that important? I mean, maybe to the history of the program, yes. But I think in the moment right now, I think that this is the most important game in the history of Duke basketball.
Yeah, I think so. And these two first time playing in the Final Four or any postseason game. But I found something that they played in the NITs back in '71. So I guess the NIT is not, they don't count that as a game.
Well, I mean,
that's like
way back when the NIT was the big thing. I mean,
right.
I think the NIT is going on now. This is going to be the last year it's in the Garden, which is, I mean, that's just sad in itself. But But yeah, first year that they're ever playing in the NCAA tournament, and of course it comes in Coach K's final year, and of course it comes in the Final Four. I guess the only bigger thing could be is if this was a national championship game.
Yeah, George, go ahead.
So Kevin, before you came on, we were having some roundtable discussion, and I'll say this: there's been some interesting games in all these different sports where a team earlier in the season has beat another team, but they've gone on to a much bigger game, and it's not worked out well for the guy that won the first time. As I told Chris and the guys, you know what? This is where I'm at. Right now, Duke is playing with house money. I think that they got past the hard spots. I think now it's pure adrenaline, and that they're not going to go out now, especially playing in North Carolina, and lose a game, in the Final Four. Duke's going to come out with a win on top of this. That's just what I see.
Yeah, see, I agree with you, and I disagree. I disagree with the point that they're playing with house money. I think the pressure is still all on them. That final regular season game, everyone kept asking me, how much you think they're going to win by? How much you think they're going to win by? And I was like, they might win, but I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think, just because the moment was so big. Like, the players had never been in that situation. They have 100 former players there. They're all on the court beforehand. And like, it was never in that regular season game. It was never Duke was playing Carolina. This is Coach K's swan song. And like, Carolina, for probably one of the only times in program history, got to play that underdog card. But I agree with you on this point that I think because Duke lost that game at home, I think they win this one. I think there's still a lot of pressure on them. They know that they can't lose this game, just like you would have imagined they knew that they couldn't lose that regular season finale just because how much pressure was on them. But I do think they come out flying. And both teams are vastly different than the last time they played in Cameron. But I do think Duke, I guess to show my cards here, I do think Duke comes out and wins, and I do think they'll win the championship. I think they'll beat Kansas.
Kevin, I hope you can see what colors I have on, since I will say I have a lot of friends who are pulling for Duke, but answer me this. Do you think this game Saturday night is the greatest game in the history of the North Carolina Duke rivalry, going back to when it all started, back in the 20s?
I think it is, just because of the implications. Yeah. I mean, and again, I think it's more important for Duke than it is for Carolina, to be quite honest. Because if Carolina loses, then like, okay, Duke fans still always have that trump card in terms of you're debating between the two teams. Well, we beat you in the Final Four. So like that trump card's always there. But if Duke loses, there's like, it's not the end of the rivalry, but it's like Carolina, unless Duke and Carolina would meet down the road for a national championship and Duke wins, Carolina has the upper hand in the rivalry going forward, regardless of record, regardless of games played. I mean, they would have ended Coach K's home career and his career in general. I do think it's, like I said, it's the most important game in the history of the rivalry. I think it's the most important game in the history of Duke basketball. But if Duke loses, Carolina fans aren't and shouldn't ever let it. They won't live it down.
No.
Chris?
I just feel like this is great. I feel like this is great for basketball. Having both two powerhouses, two rivals that hate each other. It's almost like, I was looking at I was putting something like one of those videos together last night. It's like almost like Red Sox Yankees when they hated each other. It's like the Cowboys, or you want to call them the Commanders? I guess the Commanders now. But the Cowboys and Redskins. Back in the '70s they hated each other. Even what's his name? George Allen didn't want anybody to watch his practices because of the, he thought it was the Cowboys spying on him. And then you got in college football. You got Notre Dame has rivalries, Florida State has rivalries. Everybody, I think everybody knows about Michigan and Ohio State. So this is, and even in basketball and pro, the Celtics and the Lakers. That's like old school. It's like, this is just great that college basketball is finally getting these two schools to the Final Four. It would have been cool if they're both playing for the national title. I think that would have been more exciting because everybody would be like, okay, these two schools are going to be playing for the title, and then they play each other next year as a rematch. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is. The only different thing is I guess like the Red Sox and the Yankees, like it's become a custom that they meet in the postseason now. Like this has never happened, and like who knows when it's going to happen again. That's why I think like the moment is just that big. Because I mean, look look at what was it, the 03 ALCS. Then I feel like the Yankees and the Red Sox have played in at least two of the last three postseasons too. I mean, they played last year in the wild card game, and then what was that? 2018, the division series, whenever the Red Sox went on to win the World Series. So like I feel like those comparisons, like they're good, but like you see NFL division rivals play each other in the postseason. Maybe not relatively often, but it happens more often than not. This has never happened before, and who knows if it's going to happen again.
But there's also a difference, right, Kevin, between college and professional sports. I just think that it's a much better thing being at the college level.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess the other part of this is like it's arguably the greatest coach in the history of the sport's potentially final game. Like it's his last one. And obviously everyone kept talking about how Carolina beat them to end his home career. Now I guess Duke has the chance to flip the tables on them down in New Orleans.
So let's just talk about this game. Kevin, let's talk about this game against with North Carolina. They played each other twice every year, maybe three times if you get to the ACC title game. I saw it twice. I saw them both play in the ACC semifinals. One was in Charlotte, one was in Brooklyn. And that atmosphere was great. And that was like, you got the Carolina blue, you got the Duke people, and when they bring out the Carolina people, the Duke people on the jumbotron, the Duke people boo them. Yeah. And then they bring out the Duke people, and they boo them there. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, I think those are two basketball arenas. This is whatever the Superdome holds, 75,000, 70,000 people are going to be glued into this game in person. And I wouldn't be surprised if you found out on Sunday afternoon or Sunday night that it's going to be the most watched game in college basketball history. I just wouldn't be surprised at that at all. In fact, I kind of think that's going to happen.
I'll agree, Kevin. I'll agree. It's kind of, talk to us about the atmosphere, at Duke right now, at Krzyzewskiville, and, so all the students have, are going to, I'm assuming they're going to have a watch along at Cameron Indoor Stadium on Saturday. So, so what's it been like, for everyone, going into this national semifinal between North Carolina and Duke in Durham.
Yeah, well, I think they're having like a lottery for students who want to go.
Wow.
And I think the school got allotted 700 tickets for students. And I think close to 3,000 waited in line yesterday to just get their name in the lottery. That's not even a guaranteed ticket, just to get their name in the lottery. So that tells you how hot this ticket already is. I think tickets are already going for almost $300 on the secondary market for this game. But everyone's excited. Everyone's I feel like it's only Tuesday. There's still a long way to go until Saturday night. But the anticipation is only going to build and build and build, but it should be fun.
Chris, you're on mute.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for coming on tonight, Kevin. I didn't realize I was unmuted there. We'll get you on after. We'll check in with you next week and see how everything goes.
Absolutely, can't wait.
Have fun, Kevin.
I mean,
Have fun, and you all. Have fun.
See ya. All right, let me bring in. That was Jeff Connelly, who writes for the Bull Durham. It's a fan site for the Duke Blue Devils, not the SB Nation. I thought that was SB Nation. But anyway, let's bring in the. I got on the phone here. Hopefully, you guys can hear him. Hopefully, we'll try this this new gadget here. We got Jim Gyorko, who used to play for the Brewers, Padres, and everybody, and the Cardinals. He's now the West Virginia Black Bears manager. So, Jedd, thanks for joining us. How are you doing?
Doing well. Thanks for having me.
Cool. I hope you can hear us. George, can you hear him?
Yes, sir.
I can hear him.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah, we got a brand new computer here, so I'm trying to work on the computer in the computer with the microphone is not working. So we're doing the old-fashioned way here. Yeah. Yeah. What can you do? So, Jedd, thanks for joining us. Just talk about being back there in Morgantown. You're familiar with Morgantown because you went to college there in West Virginia. So what was it like last year being the head man for a pro baseball team in your college town?
It was good. More than just college town. I was born and raised here, so I've lived here my entire life. Never had a house outside of Morgantown, ever. Even when I played, we always rented. But yeah, it was great. It was great to be back home, spend time with family, and then to get to teach kids and watch them hopefully take those next steps toward getting into pro baseball.
Yeah. Well, talk about your time playing college ball at West Virginia. What was it like playing? You guys were in the Big 12, and if you hear Big 12 baseball, you're Texas, Oklahoma, Baylor, and you guys are good for football, but people don't realize you have a good baseball program as well.
Yeah, the program's doing really well now. Back when I played, it was actually we were still in the Big East.
Oh, wow.
Way back when, but yeah, that was good baseball then too. But it's exciting to see the team now, and it was great for me because I got to stay at home, play in front of the hometown fans. But now to see the team playing against like you said, the Texases, the TCUs, it's a pretty exciting time to be a Mount Airy baseball fan.
Yeah. Well, talk about your team, the Black Bears. They used to be in the short season New York Penn League. And then last year, everything got folded. They lost their affiliation with, I think it was the Pirates or something like that. And now you are affiliated with the draft league of Major League Baseball. Explain to folks, we had Dave Tremblay on and Homer Bush on. We were supposed to get Joe Oliver, but I guess he had something to do tonight, but we'll get him on another time. But just talk about the league and how is it, what's the development of these players? These are players getting ready for the draft.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. We have strictly draft eligible players that come to us, and more than anything, it's a way for them to showcase themselves in front of scouts each and every day. They're getting an opportunity to play against some of the best competition across the entire country. We've got kids from all over the country that come and play for us, and just a chance for those kids to go out and play. Scouts are able to come and watch pregame BP, what they do infield, outfield, stuff like that. Just a chance for them to come out, show what they've got, and hopefully improve their draft stock.
Yeah. Adam, go ahead. If you have a question for Jedd, go ahead.
I'm assuming you watched a lot of college baseball this year. So, are there some kids that that are going to be draft eligible that you're looking to potentially come and play for the West Virginia Black Bears. This summer.
Yeah. Sorry, we're having a. I'm trying to hold on. Let me see if I could. Yeah. Yeah. He was just saying, what's it like, watching the. It's okay, Adam. We're having audio problems. Don't worry about it. He was just saying, what's it like have these kids watching you, as a major leaguer. Now you're a manager, and these kids are like, wow, he played in the major leagues.
Yeah, it's good. It's not a bad thing to have that experience and to be able to share that with them. And the kids are at a really cool part of their careers that they come out here and they're leaving everything they've got out there in the field. They're playing for their lives essentially. They're playing for that chance to get that opportunity at the next level. And for me to have been there and been through that process and to make it all the way to the top, it's pretty cool to be able to share with them. And it's fun to coach them and teach them because they're so eager to learn. And that's the best part of our job is to be able to pass on that knowledge, information onto these kids and watch them learn and grow.
Yeah. Well, talk about your time in the major leagues. You went you were with San Diego. You went with the Cardinals, the Brewers. You had places in between. What places were the best places that you enjoyed?
Oh, I enjoyed them all. I was blessed to be on 4 really good organizations that cared about their players and played with some incredible players and was managed by some of the best guys in baseball. I think I was managed by 3 or 4 ex-managers of the year. Not too many people can say that, especially in an 8-year career. So it was a blessing and honor to get to do what I did, and I loved every minute of it.
That's cool. So what's the plans for you guys getting ready for this league? You guys don't play till June. So what do you do from now until June?
We just got our rosters. They just were announced last week or 2 weeks ago. So now it's kind of going into kind of scouting and seeing what kind of players I've got and starting to check into them. I've reached out to them this week. I've been able to talk to just about all of them and just starting to build those relationships and getting these kids prepared so when they get to Morgantown, they're ready to jump right into the baseball. They don't got to worry about all that other stuff to deal with.
Yeah, you guys finished second place last year. That's not bad for your first year being a manager. Second place finish. That's some places might be taking a look at you as a manager. You never know.
We'll see. I'm enjoying my time being at home as of right now, but if this week's is something else, then we'll deal with that when it comes. But right now, we're looking forward to getting this year started and seeing what we can do.
Hey, before I let you guys, I was watching a video during the pandemic. You did some cool trick shots. Are you still doing that, or are you having a little fun, or did your wife tell you to stop breaking things?
No, I still play on occasion, but I keep the camera turned off for the most part going forward, I think.
That's cool. Well, Jedd, thanks so much for coming on by the telephone. I'd love to meet you when you get to Fredrick. I know this summer you guys are out. I'm only basically a good hour away from where we are here in Maryland. So, I'll stop and see if I can stop by and see you guys and watch some good college kids getting ready to go to the draft.
Sounds good. I appreciate you having me on.
All right, Jedd. Thank you so much.
All right, y'all have a good one.
All right, see you. Bye. All right, sorry about the audio there. Yeah, we're doing some upgrades here at the station, so we'll get some. We'll take care of some of the all those bugs. Yeah. Maybe the next time the owner not spill soda on his hard drive. This guy.
Yeah, this comes on.
Yeah, go ahead, smack it. Jesus. Steve got me on the backswing.
Goes.
You're muted there, buddy.
Oh, it's called.
You were Will Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah. You did you smacked me on the visually, and then Steve came back with the other side, so I got this side and that side at the same time. Yeah. So yeah. So we do apologize for Adam's question. Adam, you had a great question. It was just the problem was
since a lot of people are watching college baseball right now, and it's getting that time of the year where it's conference season. There's a lot of top prospects, especially in the ACC and the SEC. There's a lot of draft eligible sophomores, juniors, seniors all across the country, that are getting ready to hopefully have their name called this year. And, and actually the NFL draft isn't that far away either. It's only
some month away.
Yeah. And it's called, what it's called.
And speaking of college baseball, I found this today. Florida State and Florida are playing in a game against each other tonight. It was on the SEC network. That must have been a good, a top 10 matchup between both schools. Florida State's 5 and Florida's 12, and Florida's 12 after they started the season. I think they were like tied for, I think they were the 5th team in the country until Liberty beat.
Well, the Florida Gators just lost 2 out of 3 against LSU. In Gainesville, I think it was the first time that Florida's lost an SEC home series in a couple of years, and first time they lost an SEC series at their at their brand new stadium. I mean, LSU has a lot. LSU had a really good, solid weekend, hitting the ball, pitching the ball. So, it's right now it's conference season, and speaking college football, one quarterback I want to give a shout out to is Malik Willis from Liberty. He could hear his name called in the first round of the NFL draft this year. Had a solid career there, and we'll see where he goes.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Well, it's almost the top of the hour, 8:56 here. Coming up in shortly at 9:05, we'll try to do a roundtable discussion. I think we'll just talk to Coach Kelly. We'll try to get the John Carroll coach on next week when we get everything back to normal. With the technology, we're having some technical issues with the phone this evening. So we'll try. I'll send him a message and see if he's available. I guess Steve and I may want to go up there and watch that game on Saturday. The one at Ripken Stadium. The one at 7 o'clock. Yeah. We'll see what we can do. So, let me text him, see if he's, Jack, the GM of the IronBirds, we'll try to get him on another time. Not a big deal. We'll see what we could, let's see here. So we'll just get Coach, we'll just talk, let me send a text here real quick. So we'll get some interviews over the weekend. I guess he is. So, all right. So I guess Adam, you're going to roll out.
I'm going to roll out. Give me some dinner. Thanks again, Chris. Always enjoy being on, and y'all enjoy the Final Four this weekend. I think, to me, I think it'll be North Carolina, and I think it will be Villanova in a rematch of the national championship game. And once Villanova broke our North Carolina Tar Heel hearts. So enjoy it as always, guys. Y'all take it easy, and I'll be on sometime soon.
All right, cool. Thanks for coming on, Adam.
Yes, sir. See you guys later.
See ya. All right. Ear is kind of like blown out because of the, I'm not used to the headphones here. But, we're going to try to get the coach from John Carroll on another time because we're having problems with, if you can hear me. I don't know.
I think you're fine.
You think you're fine? You want me to try to call him?
I can hear you just fine.
Okay, but can you hear him when I talk to him on the phone?
It's very muffled.
Okay, let's just try it. We're going to try it. Okay.
So you got Coach Mike Kelly coming on?
Yep, Mike Kelly's coming on, and we're gonna call you. Okay, hold on.
Are both those guys going to be on the phone, or are they going to both be on video?
Well, the John Carroll one's by phone because he's on his way back from the game. So it's a little hard for him to log on when he's driving the school bus. Yeah.
How about Mike Kelly?
Mike Kelly's actually right here, so let's bring him in.
Bring him in.
Hey, how you doing?
Hi, Mike.
Hey, Coach.
Doing great. Say hello to George. I'm trying to get the coach from John Carroll on because we're having problems with the mic tonight because we have a brand new computer, and it's not letting us pick up anything for some apparent reason. So hold on one second. Go ahead, George. Introduce him to everybody. Hold on.
So, Coach, from Loyola Blakefield Baseball, this is Coach Mike Kelly. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir. Glad to be on with you.
So, you guys got a pretty big weekend happening, huh?
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. Anytime you can play at a nice venue like Ripken Stadium and for a great cause, and we're looking forward to it.
How's the season going so far for you?
Well, it's been up and down. We got a young team. Lost a tough one today. Went into the top of the seventh with a 3-2 lead and ended up losing it in the seventh and taking a loss to Carroll. But we have some young guys. They're coming around. They're learning. They're going to learn how to win here sooner or later and close out a game, and then we'll get our season rolling from there.
Yeah, so we were just saying, you have all the games that are going on coming into the conference play. What's conference play going to look like for you this year?
Well, I mean, the conference, the MIA conference is the toughest league in, the area pretty much. I mean, it's very night in and night out, anybody can beat you, and you really need a strong pitching staff to get through the schedule. So, we've done it before where we've come, from, not expected to do much and, end up having a great season. So hopefully we can do that again this year.
Chris?
All right. Yes, I have the John Carroll head coach on, Coach Siler on the phone. Hold on, I lost my earpiece. I feel like Dan Rather when it comes to some talk show here. So let's bring in the coach. Hey, Coach, Chris Siler, how you doing?
Chris, doing well, thank you. How about yourself?
Not bad. Thanks for coming on the phone. Sorry for the lovely situation here, but we get through it. But talk about you guys today. You guys played a game against Spalding. How did you guys do?
We did. We lost on the road today at Spalding to a really, really tough, really competitive, well-coached club. Coach Palumbo does a wonderful job with the guys down there, and they just beat us today. So, we're looking forward to Saturday to get back in the win column. And, on another note, we had a JV walk-off win, so that's a positive. We take the positives, we learn from the loss, and we move on.
Yeah, that's true. We got you guys both on because this coming Saturday, you were just mentioning, there's a very special game you guys were part of for your former teammate. We had you on a couple of weeks ago. We talked about this a little bit, but this Saturday at 7 o'clock up at Ripken Stadium is the game between you and the Dons of Loyola. So just talk about this game for your side, and we'll get Coach Kelly on in a minute.
Sure. No, I really appreciate you having us on to talk about the event and talk about the opportunity to honor Josh's legacy. Josh, he passed away several years ago. This would have been his 21st birthday on Saturday. So we're going to celebrate for him for a baseball game, a game he loved and loved to play, and we're happy to have it be against the Loyola Dons. We got a lot of respect for Coach Kelly and the work that he does, and for his team, his players, and his program. So we're excited to have a game with them. We've been doing this as often as we can every year. Obviously, the pandemic made things a little bit more difficult, but every year our plan is to have a game at Ripken Stadium that honors Josh's legacy as a way to honor the player that Josh was, and to fundraise for the memorial scholarship in his name that we started. So, we're excited to have Loyola up at 3:30 for the JV game and 7 o'clock for the varsity contest. So we're very excited. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's, as anytime you go up to IronBirds Stadium, the folks at Ripken put on a really great show in addition to the good baseball that you'll see. So we'd encourage anybody and everybody that wants to come up. It's just $5 for a ticket. That gets you access to both games and goes to a good cause. And you'll see some good high school baseball and get to see a part of the show that Ripken and their folks get to put on up there. And, we're grateful for any and everyone that would like to be a part of it. So.
Yeah. Well, Coach Kelly, just talk about your involvement with this. How did you, who started, who called who and said, hey, would you like to do the game with us this year? Or how did you get the phone call?
Yeah, well, I mean, we I guess Loyola, the coaching staffs at Loyola and John Carroll have a pretty good relationship. I went to high school with one of the assistant coaches, Bill Gowdy there. And, we've all, a couple ABCA conventions, kind of hung out and we get along. So Darrion out and see if we would be able to switch the game. It's do something like this, you're going to have to ask the other team to, change their schedule a little bit. So I think he just felt comfortable asking me. He knew I wouldn't say no.
So you folks who are watching this program, or they could be watching it sometime this week, you can actually go to the IronBirds website and get the tickets online and pick them up at the will call, or you could order them. There's a website right there. That's from the IronBirds website. So I guess that's where you guys can get tickets, or you can just walk up and say, here's $5, can I have a ticket? Right?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can walk up to the window on the day of and purchase your tickets that way. So there's a lot of different ways you can go about purchasing tickets. If you'd like to go to the website, by all means do so. Or you also can walk up the day of if you're not sure. A lot of people are going to be out playing in the spring, the big spring tournament up in Harford County for travel baseball. So they might be thinking, am I going? Am I not going? If there's any decision, last minute, people want to head up and watch a game, they can walk up and buy at the window. So, a lot of options depending on what works for everybody. So. Yeah.
Coach Kelly, you had a game today. How did you guys do today?
We lost 6-3 to Curley, Archbishop Curley. It was a really, really good game until the last inning, and we just didn't close it out. And give Curley credit. They came through with some big hits in the last inning and took the lead, and we just couldn't get it back.
Yeah. With this game on Saturday, is it good for you, for Coach Kelly? Is it good for your players, your JV players playing in this special game, even playing it, get a chance to play on Ripken's field at Ripken Stadium? That's also a cool gene for these young kids growing up, because this stadium's been around for like 20 years, and now it's like artificial turf. It's going to be cool looking.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the kids, of course, we're all familiar. We're all from this area, so most of our kids have played at the Ripken complex. But generally, it's you don't get to play in the stadium, and like you said, the surface has changed. We really haven't. I haven't coached the team in there since they've done that. But it's just the atmosphere of playing in a real stadium. I mean, most high school fields aren't like that. So the kids always get a little excited to do stuff like that, and it's for its good cause and all that kind of stuff. So the kids, they kind of know what it's all about, and they're excited to go. They're ready to play.
Exactly. Well, let me get you guys. Thanks for coming on. We're having mic issues, so Coach Siler, we hope to see. Steve and I will be up there on Saturday. I'll email you this week and see what we need to do to get a pass or so, and we'll try to see what's going on, and we'll come up and get some interviews and put them on for next week.
I would really appreciate that, Chris. Thank you so much for the opportunity to reach your audience and inform everybody about the event that we're having to honor Josh, and really appreciate everything that you guys are doing. I look forward to seeing you up on Saturday, and any listeners that have interest, if you still aren't sure where to get a ticket or what this is all about, you can reach out to us at any time through the John Carroll website or through any of the social media platforms that you might give a follow at. So I really appreciate it, Chris. Hopefully we'll see you up on Saturday, and we'll be in touch. And Coach Mike, I can't hear what you're saying from the technical side for you here, but looking forward, as always, to step out on the field with you and your Dons. You guys are class all the way, so looking forward to it.
All right, thanks.
All right, thanks, Coach. All right, Coach Kelly, thanks for coming on, and we'll see you Saturday.
So much.
Good luck, Coach.
All right, thanks. Bye-bye.
See ya. All right, that was a disaster. Yeah.
Nature to be.
That's It's all right.
Always easy.
It's always good. Yeah, we laugh about it. You know. Yep. Oh, Nicole has one of those. Yeah, you gave me the frown face. I think I should get that little thing she has that she's watching. Yeah. Yeah, that's funny. The little octopus with the different. Oh, it's on my Seminole helmet.
Well, if it's on your Seminole hat, it's definitely in this position.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Well, folks, thanks for joining us. We're going to play one more interview here. We're going to get out of here and reshape this for next week. But we'll be on next Tuesday night at 7:30, hopefully with better equipment and better people running the board.
Keep your drinks away from it, dumb.
Hey, it's called I had oops, and it happens. Yeah. And I did. Yeah. And George has yelled at me, and my drink is over there, not here, away from everything. Yeah.
You see that I reach for my drink, right, Chris? You see that I bring my drink and I move away. I don't sit over here and try and drink my beverage.
All right, George, he's just one big accident waiting to happen.
He said I'm one big accident waiting to happen. All right.
So really quick, Chris, if you want to see a big accident that was waiting to happen, check out my Facebook page later on.
Okay, I'll take a look at it. Yeah, I'll take a look at it.
And that was an accident waiting to happen.
Yeah. We're going to be playing Keven Williams. We finally had a chance to talk to him, George, this past Friday, and a cool guy. If you watched the broadcast when he won his championship, he dropped the F-bomb.
Chris, it wouldn't be the first time the F-bomb was dropped on your show, by the way.
No, he dropped the F-bomb on Fox Sports 1.
I know, but I'm saying wouldn't be the first time the F-bomb was dropped on your show.
I know. Yeah, we had the guy from Morgan State that dropped the F-bomb. That was hilarious.
He sure did.
Exactly. So, folks, Keven is a musician as well. So
you put his music in too.
Yeah. So I'm gonna play his interview, and then at the end you'll hear his new song, and you can go to HerbFM on Twitter and vote and let me know what you think about it. Yeah, because I'm trying to help the guy get himself out there. Because it's not bad. That song "Pick It Out" was pretty cool and pretty funny too. Yeah, pick it out. Yeah, I was waiting for George to bring a pick out. Like the other day, I was watching that Kyle, the guy from the the guy from the Nets, Irving, and he was like, he had a pick in the back of his hair. I'm like, just pick it out, dude. Yeah.
Nice.
Like Kyle True.
Yes, exactly. So let's play this. I talked to him last Friday. Adam and I did. So here it is, and we'll play his new video right after that.
Take it easy, guys.
I'm ready.
All right, folks. Welcome to a very special interview. Adam and I have Keven Williams, who by day, he is a rapper. By night, he's a bowler. And
the other way around.
Sharks Championship a week ago in Milwaukee, his first PBA title. And Keven, congratulations on winning your first title. How nervous were you in the 10th frame? Because you looked like you were trying to not do anything weird to throw the ball down the wrong way.
Yeah, not nervous at all. For whatever reason, I was gifted with the trait of not really getting nervous in those situations. I love to be in front of the camera, in front of a crowd. I love to be the center of attention. So I feed off that energy. So if anything, it's a positive thing for me to know that, hey, all eyes are on me. Let's see if we can make it happen. So no nerves, just excited to be in that moment.
Yeah. So when did you start bowling? Did you grow up watching bowling on TV? Like Adam and I, we were basically bowling nerds since we were like 3 years old. My mom put bowling on as my babysitter, and it kept from moving around and just stuck in front of the television.
Right.
When did you start bowling?
I've always bowled my whole life just because I played all sports growing up: baseball, basketball, soccer, anything that I could go out and sweat and run around and lose energy, I did. So I just was a competitor, and I just have always bowled for fun. I didn't start taking it serious until about senior year of high school, when I started getting pretty decent, and we won state, and then I started making a little money as an adult bowler. But it was never a dream of mine. I didn't really care about bowling that much when I was younger. I watched it every once in a while, but it wasn't my main focus when I was younger. It was all the other sports, honestly. So it's kind of funny that that's where I'm at now as a professional bowler. That's my job.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And you actually you got a tour title, so you got paid. Yeah, they got money for probably the rest of the summer, basically.
We should be okay. We'll be okay.
That's
We'll
good.
see. I have a spending problem sometimes, so maybe it disappears by the weekend. I don't know. We're on vacation right now.
Yeah, you're like I mean, when you get your paycheck, you're like, ooh, I got money. Let's go.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Adam, you got something for?
Yeah. What was it like to, I know that the greater Milwaukee area is known for all the, how was it to win a championship in front of all those wild and crazy fans outside of Milwaukee?
I loved it. I loved it. The crowd was amazing. We had 4 shows in 4 days in a row, and the Shark Show was the last one. So I was kind of thinking, I was like, do you think people are going to show up? This is the 4th one in a row. And it was jam-packed. It was loud as can be. I mean, you feed off that atmosphere that everyone is pumped to be there. And, people yelling at you, it's your time, Keven, and pointing and stuff. So I'm like, you're right, yelling back at them. So the crowd was amazing. It's so good to have fans back. Last year on tour, we didn't. So the telecast I made last year, it was me, myself, and I feeding off myself. So it was fun to be able to see the crowd be pumped, even if it wasn't for me. Just having that energy that atmosphere is amazing. So they were awesome. They were awesome. And they like to party. So, that also helps.
Yep. Yeah. Well, people don't realize you had to qualify in the morning before it was on TV at night. And so you guys had to bowl. You basically had to bowl, 6 games in the morning, and then you had a break, and then you had to bowl, and you had another match. So you basically had 7 or 8 games, right?
It was, the World Series is a mental, exhausting grind. I mean, it's just so much bowling, all these different patterns, match plays, and it's just jam-packed into a week and a half. So, yeah, to say the least, when I got home finally at 10:30, 11 o'clock, I couldn't move when I was in my bed. I was just laying there like a zombie. My mind was awake, but my body was like, I am beat. So it was a long day.
Yeah. Well, besides your bowling, you do you're a musician, so you do your own rap. So how did that come about? Because it's it doesn't weird, like you and I were talking off the mic here. Bowling and rapping it's like it doesn't mix. It's almost like a farmer and a bowler. It's like
I'm one of one. I'm the only bowling rapper, I'm pretty sure. Maybe there's someone else out there, but as of now, I'm the only one. So I might be able to claim that I'm the best bowling rapper just because I'm the only one.
Yeah.
It's funny how I got into it. I actually got into it out of a little bit of jealousy. My best friend, Jawan, who I'm on vacation with right now here in California, he has a close friend whose name is Chase May, and he used to freestyle rap all the time in school. And he got this big page on the yearbook and all this attention for it. And I was like, it can't be that hard. So I started writing raps, because I was like, man, he's getting all this attention. I want to do that. And then I just fell in love with the process of it. I love music. So I just kept at it. It was just fun to do. And now it's getting to a more serious level where hopefully I have some things in the works here. And but the process of music is amazing. It's the biggest outlet for me. It's the best way to express emotion, happy, sad, all the above. So music is the best healer. So it's fun to be able to create something, put it out there, and people to listen to it and tell me if they hate it or love it. Either way, for you to tell me that, I might not listen to this music, but I like it. It was good. I love to hear that. So I will always make music, even if nothing happens from it.
Is your ultimate dream is to be a rapper and get signed by a big record company and say, okay, I bowled for a couple of years. I got 2 titles. I got enough money to help me make an album.
Yep. That is 100%. If there was a dream of mine, it's music. I want to entertain. I want to be in front of thousands of people performing, making them feel emotions. And yeah, the music is the overall end goal if it can get there. But I'm happy with where I'm at right now. Bowling is great. The people I've met are great. I'm starting to have a really good season. So yeah, no complaints, but music is the end goal. I'd take music in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Well, you do have a new album or a song coming out this coming Monday. Yeah.
Party Forever.
Talk about that.
Party Forever. I just figured while people know that I'm relevant in this world because I won a title, I would feed off that for marketing. And I have a lot of unreleased music right now that's just tucked away in a vault. And I figured might as well release a song because people have been asking for one. And the song kind of fits just kind of where I'm at mentally, where it talks about, life is short. You just got to live it up because this party's not going to last forever. So to be able to get a win and see all the support from all my friends and family and get to go home and celebrate with them for a couple of days, it just, reiterates that life is short and just live it up. So we're releasing the song Monday. It'll be on all streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple, wherever you can listen to music. It'll be on my YouTube channel. I'll put a lyrical video up. And yeah, I'm excited to have people hear the new music because it's a lot better than anything I have out now. So I'm excited to get a new song out there.
Cool.
Yeah, we played one on Tuesday night. You and Kyle Troop, who was a friend of our program. He's you got to love his afro. We love it. We love his afro.
Yeah.
Probably I want to get my hair looking like that, but I don't think my girlfriend's going to let me have an afro.
Right.
But you and Kyle, did you guys room for a little bit? And you guys were like, because everybody on the tour, it's like a big family. It's like you guys are like, buddies and friends and family, and you guys hang out together. You guys travel together. You guys hop in the same car and go tour stops together. It's just basically one big family, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. It's a very tight-knit community. At the end of the day, we're bowling each other for our paychecks, but that doesn't get in the way too much of just everyone's good people. So yeah, we used to all get Airbnbs, and when I first started coming back out on tour, I roomed with Kyle a lot, and so it's easy to make the video together. Kyle's such a fun person to be around. I love Kyle. You see it on TV, and he's the same way off TV. He's just fun to be around, energetic. He's got a personality like no one else's. So it was real easy to make up a song and think of a funny idea with the Freaky Friday idea and switch and give me the afro and him my hat and look like a rapper and I'm him. Mm-hmm. It was fun to mess around with, and he had a blast with it. So I know that the fans really enjoyed that, and the Pick It Out thing has stayed. That's like his brand, Pick It Out. So I'm glad that I got to kind of sneak in there and help with that brand.
Yeah, exactly. Adam, you got something for Kevin?
Yeah. Now when you were bowling as a kid, did you have anyone that you look up to? Say maybe a Pete Weber or Walter Williams Jr. Someone was on the tour for a while, and you say, hey, maybe one day I'll get a chance to bowl against some of these people I've seen on TV.
Yeah. Like I said, I wasn't huge into bowling, but I definitely knew the top guys when I was younger. But the one person that always stuck out to me and was definitely my favorite, hands down, is Jason Couch. He was the only lefty on tour that actually hooked the lane. He had so much power. He was energetic. When he would win, you knew it. He would scream, he'd show emotion. And I'm very similar in that aspect where I like to show my passion as a competitor. So I always looked up to Jason Couch because, for one, he hooked it more than every other lefty, and he was always just so hyped to be on the lanes, and I loved that about him. When I signed with Ebonite International a couple of years ago, I bowled holiday doubles, and he came up to me and shook my hand. He said, "Welcome to the team. Glad to have you, man. I love what you're doing." And I was like, that was a super cool moment, because that was, if I had one bowler I looked up to, it was definitely Jason Couch. So that's my answer. I love watching that guy bowl. He's fun.
Nice. Back to your title match. It was a competitive match on TV, and I think Rob Stone was almost falling out of his chair, and I think Randy was looking for a refill of something because they're both enjoying it. But who dropped the F-bomb?
Hold on. All right, folks. Let me wrap this show here. We're just trying to find an interview I had here. Here it is. So, folks, thanks for listening to that interview we had with Keven Williams, the bowler who won the Shark Championship, and we're going to play his long-awaited song, his brand new song that's came out yesterday. If you want to go to the website and vote right now and let us know what you think about it, we'd love to have it. So hold on here. Let's see. All right. Oh, okay. So, all right, man. Well, folks, thanks for joining us. We'll see you all next Tuesday night here on the show.
Late night, too lit. Work calling new phone. Who this? Got a bad one, too thick. Got me all up in her mouth like a toothpick. She don't got no care, and I don't got one either. No, my dogs are here. We kicking it like FIFA. Yeah, 'cause the party won't last forever. Yeah, I mean, it's not gonna last forever. But I can never ask for better. I really couldn't ask for better here. I said the party won't last forever. Life is short, you know? I got a bad